Classic.
Hi guys, and welcome back to Just Doing Me. I am Mimi, so thank you for staying tuned, thank you for watching. Today we're going to be talking about basically what it's really like being black in Barcelona, black in Spain. So for me, I grew up in England, and it's very diverse, very multicultural. You can literally meet anybody like from anywhere across the world in certain places like London, Birmingham, but when I moved to Barcelona, moved to Spain, it was my first time ever moving to live abroad. Well, actually I grew up in Nigeria until I was 6, and then my family relocated for my dad's job to England, so I guess it was my second time, but my first time as an adult and my first time making the decision myself. You know, and I really wasn't sure what I was going to be in store for, but I had heard that Spanish people could be quite racist, so that was always in the back of my mind, like how much racism would I encounter when I got here. Now, my experience, I can't say it's going to be the same experience for everybody. Definitely had moments where my race was highlighted to me, but I wouldn't say I've experienced outright racial hatred or anything like that. But I'm going to talk to you guys about what it's been like for me being black in Spain. I hope like this helps people that are wondering about it, and if you have any questions, just comment below. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and definitely stay tuned to the end because it's going to be interesting. So for me, the first thing I really noticed when I got to Barcelona, which is by the way where I live, and like Barcelona for me, it's one of the biggest cities in Spain, you know, except in Madrid. Like it's one of the more well-known cities, so I was expecting quite a bit of diversity, and I really didn't find that. There were really not a lot of black people when I got here. I was looking around, I was like, where are they all at? Is it only me? But yeah, really not as culturally diverse as I expected initially. But what I have found is that it depends on different aspects of where you go in the city that you might see a certain ethnicity. So there are parts where you go where you might see Filipinos, parts where you might see Asian, parts where you go where you might see more black. So initially it was just maybe where I was initially staying, I was staying in quite a nice neighborhood when I first moved. Maybe that's why there were no black people. But as time went on, I started to see more black people, and to be quite honest, I was shocked, I was embarrassed, and I was saddened by what I saw. So the majority of black people that live in Barcelona are refugees and immigrants. There's no two ways about it. The majority of black people that live here are African and escaping either war-torn countries or basically looking for a life of better opportunity. And can you blame them? Hell no. But for me, what I found really sad was there really wasn't diversity within that. So in England, London, you can see black people being doctors, you can see black people being lawyers, you know, waitresses, like the whole span. You can see a black person or, you know, different races in those roles. Here, the black people here are really just in the bottom of the bottom roles. So I'm gonna have some footage to show you guys. But one thing I really noticed is there's a culture here of like recycling, and in England we call it bin divers. People that actually, they've got these like what's the word, commercial type bins. They're absolutely huge, and when I first got here, that was the first thing I noticed. A lot of the black men and some women as well were climbing into these huge bins and literally looking for parts they could recycle. So you see them with trolleys, and they're literally looking for parts, plastics, metals, everything, and I was so shocked. I was like, oh my god, like people are climbing into bins, like why? I couldn't understand it, and I was like, this is their job? Really? How much money can you actually make from going around the whole city looking for plastic bottles and scrap metal? Like, it really made me sad, because when you look at them, you can tell they're not privileged in any way. They probably are living day to day wondering where their next meal is going to come from, and it really made me sad to see like my people, I'm sorry, but see my people, you know, going through that. And like, I also noticed that the way I am, the way I look, the way I dress, I would have people staring at me on the metro because they were kind of like, what does she do? Like, she doesn't look like the normal black people that we're used to seeing. Less so now, because at the moment it's obviously summer, it's tourist season. You can see pretty much anyone from everywhere in the world in Barcelona at the moment. There's certainly a lot more black people. But when I got here in the height of winter last year, that was not the case. When I got here last winter, that was not the case. There were only a handful of black people that weren't refugees or immigrants that had good jobs, maybe expats. There were really only a handful that I was coming across, maybe on the metro, and I'm like, okay, he's clearly going to work, he's well dressed, well suited, you know. But like, that really was the first shock that I got. The next shock I got was prostitution. Now, you guys may have already heard me say before that when I went to Italy, I was very surprised about how many people thought I was a prostitute, and the fact that I got propositioned in a very nice hotel that I was staying in, and I was just like, I am not a prostitute. And I was so angry, and I could see people watching because I guess they thought I was a prostitute too, and seeing this old ass business guy, they were like, oh, what's going down? And I was just shocked by it. But getting to Barcelona, when I moved to my last flat, it's in Raval, and Raval's not really the nicest. In fact, it's probably like the least nice part of Barcelona. It's known for having a high crime rate, known for having a very multicultural, very diverse group of people. You can see Filipinos, you can see Asians, blacks. Yeah, they're probably quite predominant in Raval. When I first got to Raval, I remember my ex saying to me, Mimi, there's a lot of black prostitutes here and you're probably gonna get propositioned. And I was just like, okay, I'll watch out for it. I couldn't watch out for that shit. Literally, it's like every 50 meters there's another young black girl, you know, just standing there, and they just stand there all day looking for dirty men, majority dirty old white men, to be like, hey, do you want to buy me a drink? It's literally like, it made my heart kind of bleed because they are very young, some of these girls, and they are mostly Nigerians, which is like, damn Nigerian girls, why you know. And some of them, they're like as young as like 15, 16, and I'm like, what, how did this happen? And you can tell they've been trafficked, basically. Yes, you can tell that they've been trafficked. They've probably left their families back in Nigeria, back in Africa, been promised a world of opportunity here in Spain, been promised good jobs, and gotten here and been flung into a life of prostitution. And it's really sad to see. And like, I'm walking past them every day. I couldn't get to work without seeing it. I couldn't come home without seeing it. And then noticing the way men would look at me as I was passing through this neighborhood, like, hola guapa, you know, basically trying to start a conversation, thinking that I was gonna be, you know, down for the no, darling, no. You know, I have had numerous occasions where I was sitting at a bus stop and some old ass white guy would come and sit next to me and be like, hi guapa, can I buy you a drink? I'm like, no habla español, no comprendo, adios. Get the hell out of here, I don't want to bloody know. So for me, that was another shock to the system. The men here are bin diving and collecting scrap metals, and the black women here are primarily in prostitution. And another thing as well that I noticed is that there's a lot of black men, mainly refugees, selling counterfeit goods by the beach, and I've got some footage of that as well. And I sat down and spoke to some of them recently. Well, what's your name first of all?
My name is Musha.
Musha, yeah. And Musha's from Gambia, guys.
Yeah.
And he's going to speak to me today because I've wanted to film a video about what it's like to live in Barcelona and live in Spain if you're black. But I think I probably might have a different experience. Did you come as a refugee of war, or?
Yeah, that question, my English is not first, it's not so good, but
okay.
Little.
Yes.
I can able to explain to you,
Yes, please.
it will be a little bit better.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, me come here like the system in Africa or in the internationally,
Yes.
where you came from when the situations either you have a problem with your government, either personal, economical problems.
Yeah.
You feel like to go out, how them used to go out, the journalist programs or whatever tourism, the right them have.
Yes.
We also feel that we get that same right.
Of course.
When we are in the Africa, whatever country we are there, someone are not feel good, either have a little bit problem economical, either conflicts by the tribals, by the governments or whatever problems, send African people away from the Africa, come in the Europe to find better life with peace, without coming with no weapons.
Yes.
The first thing will come with good intentions.
Yes.
Is the way they never point with their enemies. So when we are feeling to come here, we come here to find better life.
Yes.
Peace.
Very important. Yes.
Feel them like how we feel ourselves.
Yes. How long ago did you come?
Me, I'm
to
living
Spain?
here. It's been like 8 years.
8 years. Oh
Yes.
wow. And you
So-
speak very good Spanish?
Yeah, a little bit better.
I don't
try,
speak any
because
Spanish.
when you are in the people country, the first thing you also have to do,
To
try to
get.
speak their language.
Yeah, exactly.
Can be able to communicate with them.
Of course.
Because without them, we can live.
Have they been very accepting? Have they been kind since you moved here? Or would you say it's a lot of racism, or what's your experience been?
Yeah, my experience in Spain here, really, they used to neglect in black people, to always try to, put rubbish to the black images in Spain, rather than Barcelona. What I experience, because I see a lot of my brothers, which they deserve, to be where they want to be in a working whatever theorem practicals.
Can I ask, are you Gambian as well?
Yeah.
You're Gambian as well. And do you like Spain?
Little bit.
A little bit?
They don't want to help the blacks, The blacks, they are doing hard job here.
Yes,
And
I
things.
noticed
Oh, it's
that.
only
Very
the
hard
human.
job to hear that.
So-
But why, sir? Why did you shake your head
For
in
me,
when I
I'm
said
not
black
happy under
women?
that
You must
system,
tell me.
seriously.
You must tell me why did you say that?
Because he used to see
You see?
Yeah, I see.
It's a problem, no?
Yeah,
problem.
How do we fix it?
I cannot fix
Black
it.
women being abused and degraded.
Oh, I cannot fix it, It's only Spain's system, Spanish system.
But surely they're people's sisters, they're people's daughters, or no,
Yeah,
they don't
I
have
know
family here.
No, they don't have family.
They don't have family here.
They come.
The people are
just like
bringing
us,
them.
Them
People are
also,
bringing
they want
them,
to-
yeah.
trafficking
also
them.
They
Yeah.
like to
Using
work,
them.
but they don't have work. That's why they go
End
to
up, yeah.
prostitute,
It's not what they want, they just
Yeah.
don't have the opportunities.
Yeah.
It's hard
Even
enough
though
being a
them,
black
they
man.
Give them opportunity. Those people, they cannot do like this, But they never give opportunity.
I think that the conversation, it was so nice.
It was nice,
Also the
wasn't it?
voice, yeah.
And I think it's important for people to know the struggles that black people are facing here, and to know the experiences, because otherwise things won't change.
Yeah.
And they were basically just telling me they've been here for like 10 years, and I was shocked. I was literally thinking these people must be fresh off the boat, and life for them will get better. And it really saddens me that 10 years after getting to Spain, you're probably no better off than what you were when you first started, and they feel like the government and the institution doesn't really help them, doesn't really support them. They look at them as criminals, they look at them as very much in a negative light, as people here to cause problems and maybe leech off their system. And for them it's very difficult to start this new life with lots of opportunity that they came here for. So for me that was really sad to see, and I thought to myself, well, at least maybe their children will have better lives. The next generation who grew up here, who will obviously speak the language, will have better lives. But honestly, I'm not so sure. I think these prejudices are very much inbuilt within the Spanish community. They do not see black people being successful. They don't see black people being well educated. They don't see black people being well spoken, well dressed. The majority of the black people here are just none of those things, you know. So for me, I do get strange looks when I walk about, not as much as when I leave Barcelona. My ex was from a little town about 30 minutes away from Barcelona, and my, is there a noticeable difference the minute you step out of Barcelona? The stairs literally like triple, quadruple. Me being with him, I noticed, and he's Spanish, he's Catalan, so he's a white guy. I noticed that like people like were literally staring, and I said to him, why are they staring so much? Is it because they think that I'm a prostitute and you're like a customer, or what is it? And he was just like, no, they just don't see black people that look like you here. Most of the black people here are refugees, torn old clothing, you know. They just don't see black people like you here, so for them it's very strange. So it's not like they were outright coming up and being like racist or anything, but in an aspect it's just as bad. Nobody wants to be stared at and like ogled, you know, just walking down the street, just eating in a restaurant, just having eyes constantly on you, wondering how you look the way you look, how you're wearing the things you're wearing, you know. So that for me was also a shock to the system, and I found myself thinking, what can I do to help? What can I do to make a difference? And that's kind of part of why I'm filming this video, because I've had some of you reach out to me asking what it's like to be in Barcelona, asking about the racism and saying, oh god, you don't want to come if it's as bad as you've heard. No guys, it's really not that bad. Like, it's a shock to the system, but have I ever had anybody come up to me and be like, go back to your own country, or black this, black? No, absolutely nothing like that. I've never had outright racism, just the stares and the confusion. And the only way we're going to stop that, and the only way we're going to change that, is for more professionals, more diverse groups of black people to come to Spain and open up their eyes so they can see, actually, we aren't negative, we aren't here to cause fights, we aren't criminals, we're well educated, we're a diverse group of people, we have lots of talents, lots of skills, and we can add something positive to your community. So my advice is, if you're thinking of coming on holiday to Barcelona, do it. It's an absolutely fun place to live. I absolutely love living here. I don't know if I've made that clear, but I love living here, and like, I don't know where the future is going to take me, but I know the last 6 months I've spent here in Spain has been amazing. The men, by the way, for you black girls that like are wondering, the men absolutely love chocolate. I can't walk down the street without them going, morena, morena, guapa. Morena means brown girl, guapa means hottie, basically. You know, they absolutely love, you know, my skin. Like, almost everybody I meet tells me, every guy I meet tells me that he loves my skin, you know. So it's not outright racism. I just think it's inherent racial prejudices, and the more we can do to open up their eyes, honestly, the more I feel we will do for the refugees and immigrants that are coming here. Because obviously I'm not coming as a refugee, I'm coming more as an expat, so the way I'm treated is different from the way a lot of them are treated and the way a lot of them are viewed, and I don't like that. We are all brothers and sisters, we're all one community, and I'm currently researching what I can do to help. I know there's food banks for the homeless. A lot of them are homeless, you know. Like, I wake up in the morning going to work at 7 a.m. and I see them sleeping on benches, see them sleeping on the beach. A lot of them come to Barcelona because the weather's hot, so it's a good place to be homeless, you know, you're not freezing cold. But I'm looking at what I can do, especially with the young girls that are being trafficked and sold into prostitution. If I can just talk to them, show them a better way, show them that there's options for black women here, not just being sex objects just because the men love our skin. Like, there's a lot of black prostitutes here because the men love it, but no, there's more options here. You can like grow up, have a good career, build a family, have a nice life. So a friend of mine that I met last week, she shared some links with me, and I'm gonna try and get more involved in the community. But I wanted to film this video and raise awareness just so people know that it's not all fun and you know, not all fun and games, it's not all roses. Like, life is tough here if you're black, especially if you're a black man. I think it's definitely been easier for me being a black woman. As a black man, I reckon you'll be facing a lot more prejudices. You might even have that outright racial hatred that I've not experienced. I don't know, but it's not going to be easy. They don't see a lot of people that look like us, and when they do, they question it. If you're well spoken, well dressed, well educated, the people they are used to seeing, they look down on them, they don't treat them very well. So yeah, I just wanted to film that, let you guys know what's up. But at the same time, I love Spain. I don't want it to be like, oh god, it's negative. It's really not. I love Spain, and the only way to like break down these prejudices is to educate them, and we can't do that if we're saying, I'm not going to come to Spain. Come to Spain and be a positive influence and help your brothers and sisters. It makes me sad, you know, like in the Jewish community, money will change hands 10 times before it leaves the community. In the black community, it will change hands once and it will leave the black community. We do not support each other, we do not grow each other, we do not help lift each other up, and that for me is just so sad. I want to see more of that. I want to see us helping each other, helping our brothers and sisters, because at the end of the day, they are a reflection of us. You know, the black man selling blankets on the beach is a reflection of me. You know, when I walk down the street, no matter how well dressed I am, they're going to see a black person and they're going to think about all the other black people they've seen. So the more you help your brothers, the more you help your sisters, I think the better Spain will be for the black community. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I hope it's gonna spark some conversation. I hope it's gonna enlighten, but I hope to see you guys here. If you coming to Spain, Barcelona, reach out. I'd love to meet you guys. Thanks again for watching. Looking good, feeling good.
Why yo, classic. Oh na na na.